In the quiet moments between heartbeats, a question arises. Who are you truly? Are you the sum of your memories, your experiences, your emotions, or is there something more, something eternal? The soul, our inner traveler, carries the imprints of every joy, every sorrow, every lesson learned. It's the essence that evolves lifetime after lifetime, seeking growth, understanding, and connection. Across cultures and epochs, the soul is recognized as the seat of individuality, the repository of our deepest desires and fears. Beyond the evolving soul lies the spirit, the unchanging, divine essence within us. It's the breath of the universe, the eternal flame that remains constant amidst life's tempests. In moments of profound clarity, when the noise fades and stillness prevails, the soul touches the spirit. This is a harmonious dance between growth and essence. The soul is not a poetic idea. It is not an emotion, a mood, or a symbol. It is a living, conscious being. The invisible traveler who walks beside your physical self, shaped by memory, experience, and longing. While the spirit remains still and unchanging, the soul is in motion. The soul is the story you have been writing for lifetimes. It is the sacred book that never closes, even as the body dies and reincarnates. The soul is individualized consciousness. Unlike the spirit, which is identical in all beings, the soul is uniquely yours. It remembers what your conscious mind forgets. It carries the imprints of your joys, wounds, desires, and karmic lessons, not only from this lifetime, but from many before. Every choice you have made, every intention you have held, every emotion you have deeply felt, all of these become woven into the fabric of your soul. You do not carry this information in your brain. You carry it in your soul's field, which exists beyond time and space. From the moment the soul separates from the pure, undivided source, not in rebellion, but in sacred curiosity, it begins its long and mysterious journey through form. It incarnates into bodies, into stories, into cultures and identities, learning through contrast, experience, and desire. In this way, the soul is a student, but it is also a mirror. It reflects your choices back to you, not to punish you, but to invite you into ever-deepening awareness. Ancient traditions all recognize this sacred traveler. In Vedic wisdom, it is called the jiva, the individualized soul which carries karma and seeks eventual liberation. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the soul is weighed against the feather of Ma'at, truth, to determine its purity and progress. In mystical Christianity, the soul is the beloved of God, journeying through exile and return. In Sufism, it is the lover, seeking reunion with the divine through longing and surrender. In all these teachings, the soul is not perfect. It is not enlightened, it is growing. This is one of the most misunderstood truths in spirituality today. Many people assume the soul is already enlightened, already wise, already whole. This is not entirely accurate. It is the spirit that is whole. The soul is in process. The soul is the part of you that can be wounded, lost, confused, and transformed. It can fall into darkness, it can seek power, it can forget the light. But it can also remember, it can heal, it can rise. The soul grows through contrast. This is why we experience pain. This is why we are born into complexity. The soul chooses incarnations, not for comfort, but for evolution. Sometimes it chooses joy, beauty, and creativity. Sometimes it chooses suffering, limitation, and even tragedy. The soul learns through both. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every miracle, all are sacred stepping stones in the soul's ascent. Karma is not punishment, it is memory. It is the soul's natural mechanism for balance and understanding. If you wounded another in one life, your soul may choose to feel that wound in another, not to suffer, but to awaken empathy and insight. If you abused power, you may be born into powerlessness. If you misused love, you may crave it for lifetimes until you learn to give it freely. The soul is not judged by an external deity. It is guided by an internal intelligence, the law of energetic balance that flows through all creation. At death, the soul does not dissolve. It sheds the body like a garment, reviews its life with the assistance of luminous beings, sometimes called guides or elders, and eventually prepares for its next incarnation. In between lives, the soul rests, studies, and chooses. Yes, the soul chooses. It chooses the family, the body, the circumstances, and the timing. It does not choose based on comfort, but based on growth. This is why some souls are born into short lives, extreme suffering, or powerful destinies. These are not accidents. They are orchestrated experiences that serve the soul's unique blueprint. The soul also carries your sacred gifts, your intuition, your creativity, your voice, your longings. These are not random talents. They are echoes of past lives and glimpses of future ones. If you are drawn to music, healing, ancient symbols, or certain cultures, this may be your soul remembering. Your passions are not hobbies, they are clues. They point toward your purpose. And yet, for all its wisdom, the soul still forgets when it enters the body. This is necessary. Forgetting creates the conditions for choice. Without forgetting, there is no meaning in remembering. The soul chooses the veil of amnesia not as a curse, but as a sacred tool. When you begin to awaken in this life, it is not the first time your soul has awakened. It is simply the latest chapter in a long, intricate, beautiful unfolding. To know your soul is to know yourself as both human and more than human. It is to walk the paradox of imperfection and sacredness. The soul is not meant to be escaped. It is meant to be honored. Through the soul, the divine becomes personal. Through the soul, the eternal becomes intimate. You were not born to transcend your soul, but to illuminate it, to polish it like a gem until it reflects the light of the Spirit clearly and purely. And so we come to a great truth. You are not just a soul having a human experience, you are a soul becoming divine through experience. This is why your journey matters. This is why you matter. The Spirit may be your source, but the soul is your story. And your story is sacred. If the soul is the traveler, the Spirit is the light that never moves. It does not belong to you. It is not yours in the way the soul is. The Spirit is not shaped by time, personality, or memory. It has no past. It has no wound. It does not grow or change. It does not need healing. The Spirit is God breathing through you. It is the pure essence of life itself, untouched, eternal, and indivisible. While the soul is unique and carries your personal identity across lifetimes, the Spirit is universal. It is the part of you that is the same as the part of me, and the same as the part of every being. Not similar, but the same. It does not carry a name or a history. It is the one presence behind all faces, the silent awareness behind all thoughts. Spirit is not something you have, it is what you are, beneath every illusion of form. In the beginning, before you were a body, before you were a soul, before you were a thought in the mind of your mother, you were Spirit. And even now you are still Spirit, here reading these words through a temporary form. This form will vanish, the soul will move on, but the Spirit, your true nature, was never born and will never die. It is outside of time, outside of place. It is beyond dimension, but also within every dimension. It is not far away. It is closer to you than your breath. Many mystical traditions have attempted to name it, but no word can contain it. The Hindus call it Atman, the true self, identical with Brahman, the ultimate reality. The Taoists speak of the Tao, the way that cannot be spoken. In the Bible, Spirit is the Ruach Elohim, the breath of God moving over the waters of creation. In the Quran, it is the Ruh, breathed into Adam by the divine. The mystics all agree, this essence cannot be grasped by the mind. It can only be realized. Spirit is not personal. It does not remember your name. It does not know your story. It is not interested in your goals or your fears. It simply is radiant, silent, eternal being. But here lies the paradox. Though it is impersonal, it is the source of all love, all wisdom, all life. Everything that exists arises from it. Everything returns to it. It is the fire behind the stars and the stillness behind your heartbeat. To experience the Spirit is not to believe in it. It is to fall into it. It is to dissolve the illusion of separation, even for a moment, and taste what lies beyond thought. This does not require effort. It requires surrender. The Spirit is always present, but it waits in stillness. It is not noisy. It does not force itself. You must become quiet to feel it. You must become empty to receive it. That is why meditation, silence, fasting, solitude, and sacred plant medicines have been used throughout the ages, not to escape reality, but to strip away the false self so that Spirit can be revealed. Unlike the soul, which is on a journey of learning, the Spirit already knows. It does not seek because it is the answer. It does not desire because it is fulfillment itself. When the spirit moves through you, you may experience it as deep peace, as boundless presence, or as overwhelming love that asks for nothing in return. But even these are shadows of what the spirit truly is. In truth, the spirit is beyond experience. It is the ground upon which all experience unfolds. This is why many saints and sages, after lifetimes of seeking through the soul, eventually abandon the path of becoming and simply rest in being. They do not stop walking the path because they are tired. They stop because they have remembered what never left. The spirit does not require your progress, it requires your presence. And in the end, the soul's greatest realization is not that it became enlightened, but that it was always lit by something that never needed to change. Yet let us not be tempted to reject the soul for the spirit. That is a trap. Some seekers, upon glimpsing the beauty of spirit, try to transcend the soul prematurely. They talk of non-duality and emptiness, but inside they remain wounded, unintegrated, and emotionally disconnected. The spirit is whole, but we are not meant to bypass the journey of the soul. Instead, we are meant to allow the spirit to flow into the soul, to infuse it, to elevate it, to heal it from within. The spirit is the source, the soul is the vessel. Together they complete the human experience. To walk in spirit is not to float above life, it is to move through life with clear eyes and an open heart, grounded in the eternal. It is to speak from silence, to love without attachment, to serve without needing to be seen. It is to live from a place that is already free. The spirit is not something you find, it is something you remember. And once you remember, you never forget again, not truly. Even when you fall, even when you doubt, something deep within you stays awake. That stillness, that breathless moment before thought, that light behind your eyes, that is it. That is the spirit, the breath of God within. Within you exists a meeting place where two powerful forces converge, the soul and the spirit. The connection between them is not through rituals or beliefs, but through a state of consciousness, often called awareness or presence, which is felt when the soul becomes still enough to sense the spirit within. This connection is not abstract, but intimate. It can be experienced during moments of deep emotion, awe, or stillness, where you realize that you are more than your human experience, yet that experience is sacred. When the soul lets go of its seeking, the spirit illuminates it, transfiguring its past experiences and pain into a larger tapestry of meaning and grace. From this place, you begin to live differently. You stop trying to fix yourself and start listening to a deeper rhythm. You no longer chase enlightenment as a destination, but embody it in everyday life. True mastery is not perfection, but the integration of spirit into the soul, allowing the eternal to exist within your human story. Great masters like Jesus, Rumi, and Buddha embodied this, living fully as humans while filled with divine presence. The connection between soul and spirit is an ongoing, living relationship. It is deepened through regular practices like meditation, self-inquiry, and prayer. Eventually, the soul realizes that the spirit has always been present, leading to trust and peace. Life stops feeling like a battle and becomes a sacred journey. Your real power arises when you embrace your humanity as a vessel for the divine. When the soul recognizes the spirit within, an awakened presence is born. This presence has the power to heal, teach, and guide others, becoming a bridge for them to remember their true selves. The soul becomes the song, the spirit the silence behind it, and you, the one who sings in the language of light. To live as both soul and spirit is to embody a sacred presence in everyday life. While others are driven by the personality, thoughts, reactions, and fears, you begin to live intentionally, carrying peace and becoming love. This path requires facing many small deaths, letting go of ego-driven desires and choosing what is real. It's not about perfection, but devotion, returning to your center when you forget. Living from the soul means honoring your unique path and seeing life's challenges as opportunities for growth. Living from spirit means carrying a presence that heals and shines simply by being true to your light. Life becomes sacred, every moment an altar, and your very existence becomes an invitation for others to remember their own light. Embodying soul and spirit is not a destination, but a constant practice of remembrance, infusing the world with your soul's depth and your spirit's light. Walk gently, live boldly, and remember often. Boldly and